It's hard to be confident in your abilities without experience. You need experience in order to gain that confidence that you're looking for as an entrepreneur. You have to get out there, get your hands dirty, and mess up in order to make it work. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Creative on the Grind podcast. It's your girl DeAndra, and I'm back with another episode. So, as you see by today's title, I wanted to dive in and talk about how to build your confidence as an entrepreneur. And I really wanted to speak on this topic because I feel that some people do think that all entrepreneurs just have it together, or that they have some type of superpower that they could just get up every day and have the confidence to show up in their businesses and this, that, and the third. But there's so much more to it. So in today's episode, I really wanted to focus on some points that will help you get a better understanding of how to build your confidence as an entrepreneur and give you some guidance and tips to help you along the way. It's hard to be confident in your abilities without experience. You need experience in order to gain that confidence that you're looking for as an entrepreneur. You have to get out there, get your hands dirty, and mess up in order to make it work. So I want to just jump out there and say that the lack of having self-confidence is completely normal. There's research out there that say a lot of people struggle with confidence in the early stages of their careers. And that's why I'm saying it's completely normal. Women actually have a bigger struggle when it comes to confidence. It goes into like worrying about being disliked, struggles with trying not to outshine the other person, grabbing too much attention, dim your light. All of those things come into play when it comes to confidence. It's a struggle because you don't really have the experience in that field, that you can't really be confident in it. And I want to start by saying that I've been guilty of this as well. I've had times where I feel like in my past that I've had to dim my light for others to make them feel comfortable, or not speak up when there's something that I really wanted to say. And I just kind of held my tongue. And it was just, I didn't feel confident in that moment to share what I needed to share or say what I needed to say. And it's probably more so because of the outside factors of what would this person think, or, how would they perceive me? And that goes into just thinking too much, which I'm working on not being such an overthinker, but it's something that I've acknowledged and I'm working on. But over time, I've learned that you just have to be bold and confident in your decisions, because at the end of the day, you can't please everyone, and what you say or what you do is not going to be for everyone. And you just have to step out of your element and do it, no matter what anyone says. And within going to therapy and learning more about myself, I've learned that the lack of confidence can stem from your childhood programming, your surroundings, media, past experiences. There's so many things that could lead you to not have confidence in something. And especially when it comes to putting yourself out there in front of the world and showcasing something that you believe in, but you don't know if anyone else believes in it quite yet. That's very scary. Everyone's going to say, just get out your head and do it. And I know it's easier said than done, but you do have to just get out your head and do it. And it comes to not giving a fuck, really. Not giving a fuck what anyone says or thinks about what you do. And when you start building that mindset, that's when, the things get better and better and better. But at the end of the day, I want you to know that having a lack of confidence in your abilities as an entrepreneur, especially in the beginning, is completely normal. And just notate that and move forward. Which pivots us into this next segment, that confidence can be practiced and learned. All you have to do is take the first step. I'm a huge believer that over time, your confidence does grow when you start working on things and actually putting in the work. So I can relate to this so much because I remember when I first started doing balloons and how intimidated I was by the balloons. I didn't know how to hold them. I didn't know how to maneuver them, tie them together, keep them tight. There was a lot of things I did not know, but I didn't allow that to stop me from doing what I wanted to do. I had to get out there and book those clients and kind of learn as I go. I feel like till this day, I'm still learning new techniques on how to make my life easier when I'm working. And the only way I was able to do this was by stepping out on faith and hoping that it goes well. And sometimes it didn't go well, but I learned from those mistakes. And that's why I want to emphasize that you need the experience. You need to mess up a couple times so you can find practical ways to fix those errors. As I mentioned in my last episode, you can't be scared to make mistakes because it's essential to getting that confidence that you want. There's so many things you learn by just being out there. And that's the cool part about it is you end up finding your own techniques and your own ways that people take years to figure out. But you taking that risk to mess up and see what happens, you took a shortcut. You took a shortcut by just trusting yourself. I feel learning how to trust yourself is so essential. And I had to learn that early on that I had to just trust my decisions because no one's going to understand my vision, especially when I first started. I feel that a lot of people didn't really understand what I wanted to do. Quite frankly, I didn't really understand what I wanted to do, but I knew that I wanted to do something really dope with balloons. And when I told people about it, a lot of people were like, balloons? Like, where is this idea coming from? What do you think? You can run like a high end business with balloons. I've never seen that before. And that's right. You've never seen that before, but God gave me this vision. So it's up to me to execute it and make it my own and figure it out. So I had to really trust my gut. I had to trust that everything was going to be okay. And when you get a vision or an idea to do something, you have to have confidence in yourself and trust your gut because that vision came to you specifically for a reason. And when you get this idea right and you don't really work on it, you just kind of hold it back like, oh, I want to do this idea, but you don't put in that work to do it. And then all of a sudden one day you see someone else doing it, or you see it on TV, or you just see it in another form and you're like, that was my idea. What the heck? That was my idea. Yeah, it was your idea and God gave that to you to execute it, but you decided not to bring it to life. So he had to give it to someone else. Not to say that you can't still do it, but when we are presented with a vision, it's up to us to take the initiative and work on it. At least get the first few steps. I mean, you're going to stumble, you're going to fall. And I feel every day people think like, how can I change my life? You're one decision from changing your life by just trusting yourself and trusting your gut and knowing that you'll be okay on the other side. Even if you mess up, you're going to be okay. When you're trying something new, there's always going to be that uncertainty there. Think back to when you try something out of your element and you were so uncertain about how it was going to go, what was going to happen, will you be okay? And I'm going to use a huge example for me where I had a lot of uncertainty, and it was when I went skydiving. I went skydiving, I think in 2020. And that was one of the craziest things I've ever done in my life. I remember driving up, we were parking, and my palms were sweating, and I was like, what am I doing? Then I have to sign this waiver and sign my life away. If I die, it's not our fault. I was like, this is crazy. And then I'm looking over and I see all these people falling out the sky. And I was really questioning my decisions. I was like, is this a good decision, DeAndra? Are you sure you want to do this? But, I paid the money, I invested, and I just trusted my gut that this was going to be a great experience. And then once I met my instructor, he made me feel so confident and so calm. And I trusted him because I jump out of planes like 10 times a day. Like I've jumped so many times. I can do this in my sleep. And I was like, okay, I trust you. Like, you've done this several times. Why would you lead me astray? So I had to put my faith all into this man's hands, which was scary. But in that moment, I had to just trust. And that's how it is when it comes to growing and starting your business. You just have to trust. And I got on that plane and we went up into the sky on this little ass plane. And I remember he locked us in and he was like, "Are you good? Can you do this?" And then they start taking pictures of us and like trying to like make us laugh and, make us get comfortable. And then when I was standing on the edge with him on my back, I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe I'm doing this. But I had no time to stop because he pushed us out and we were like off to the races, literally flying. And it didn't feel like I thought it was going to feel. It felt very freeing, very light. And I felt like I was just floating above the world. And it was such an eye-opening experience. And I related back to starting a business because you're so scared when you're stepping out on that plane and you're on the edge. But once you let go, you don't have any more control. You just float and you soar. When you decide to start that business and grow it into its full potential, you have to just know that you're soaring your way down. And the fear is going to come up here and there. But once you're in it and you're experiencing things and you're learning from your mistakes and you're learning new things and new techniques and new ways to do things, you're going to feel so motivated and inspired and so proud of yourself. And it feels so good when you do those things. So I want you to know that those are the things you have to look out for is challenging yourself, testing yourself. That's what makes this entrepreneurial journey fun is challenging yourself, trying to be better than you were yesterday. And within that, don't be so hard on yourself. You're not going to be perfect and you're not going to get it right the first time. Just know that practice makes progress and live by that because you're not going to be perfect. And that's the only way you're going to gain that confidence that you're looking for. It's not going to just pop up one day and be like, "Hey girl, your confidence is here. It has arrived and you're ready to go." It's just not going to happen. You have to just get out there and mess up. There's no one like you. The way you do things, there's no one out here doing it exactly how you're doing it. We all have our way. Going out there, getting your experience, you're going to find your way. Someone told me that this is the smallest your audience will ever be. So take this time to make those mistakes and mess up. And hit home for me because it's so true. Like this is this is my small audience right now, but when I start growing and building my business, I'm going to be exposed to so many more people. But what I've learned from my first business is that as you grow your confidence, your business grows right alongside of it. And it's such a beautiful thing to watch and admire about yourself because you overcame so many obstacles and challenges. It's a different feeling. And I feel that that's another reason why I decided to make this podcast is because I want people to experience the same things that I've experienced by just challenging myself every day and not being scared to show up for myself. Confidence wasn't built overnight. I had nights where I was crying. I had nights where I was so scared, but I overcame those and I'm okay. I feel like if you think of anything that you've gone through and you've trusted that God and the universe was going to get you through it, and you just trusted that feeling, you got through it because you're here. You're still here. You're listening to this podcast, so you're here. And so just know that when you're on this journey to be this dope entrepreneur that, yeah, your confidence might not be top tier all the time, but it's going to grow as you grow. Keep that in mind because God rewards us when we decide that we're going to just trust Him, that we're going to trust in Him in everything that we do, that we're going to just trust that He's going to get us to the other side. And I physically experienced that, being rewarded for me going out there to mess up and get my feet wet and get my hands dirty. He rewarded me. And He rewarded me with an amazing career and an amazing gift that I could share with the world that wasn't here before. So I don't want you guys to miss out on your opportunity to share with the world what you have to offer, because you have a gift. Everyone does. It's just you have to take the time to find it, and hiding behind the lack of confidence, it's going to be hard doing that. So you got to get out there and push yourself and step out that comfort zone and show yourself, because you have people like me out here rooting for you. Today, many people think that they can research everything about entrepreneurship or ask every question in the book to build that confidence. But confidence actually begins when you start to show up as the entrepreneur. That's when the confidence grows and shows. And show up however that looks to you, because there's no guide, there's no blueprint, there's nothing set in stone of how things should be. It's based on your story and the mistakes and obstacles and challenges that you overcome. That's what creates the entrepreneur. Within all of that, you just have to have discernment and faith that God and the universe will take you where you need to go. And just trust, because everything's going to be okay. And your confidence is something that you can learn day by day and practice day by day. I hope that I gave you that encouragement to step out your element, get out there, practice, get that self-assurance that you need to succeed and do whatever it is that you want to do. Be that dope entrepreneur that you always wanted to be. Stop holding yourself back, because it's not going to get any easier the longer you wait. It's not. Trust me. And that's all for today's episode. Make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and stay creative, stay on the grind. And until next time, I'll see you later. Peace.